Jensen is joining me here, and that's what we're going to be talking about. We want to mention we need one sponsor already renew, and that's Whitemore. And the Livestock Risk Management Partnership with Minneapolis. We'll take, if you guys got cattle, they've got a new program out there where they can insure you for loss. They can also lock in the price that you.
Yep.
Who did?
Well, I had the seniors we lost. Hopefully, I don't leave me out. Jacob Head, Braden Wood, Cale Yeager, Owen Minky.
That's a good one too, man. So you're losing.
Put me on the spot here. I know there's a couple more,
but you know what I mean. You're not going to have as many people but that's every year. You know, there's never been a year we talked to where you weren't, losing some players.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you're losing quarterback, and you're losing the live kid. Seemed like he just did everything, and he's a little quarterback too, and did some things. But Minky, big time state, all-state offensive lineman there. So tell me a little bit about. Let's start with the offensive line. You know, I'm always like the line play on both sides of the ball. How's that going to be looking for you?
Well, we kind of go with an entire new line again. Not an entire new line. A couple guys coming back, a couple guards that started throughout the season at some point, or kind of moved into that position. So we got 3 linemen we're replacing, and then one tight end. So 7 guys we typically have up front. We got to replace 4 of the 7. So the next group of guys are stepping up.
Well, none of those guys are complaining about those other guys leaving on there.
No, we just got a little bit of depth. I mean, we're not as deep as we maybe have been in the past, but it's just going to be keeping guys healthy. 100% healthy, 80% in shape.
Well, I know you haven't had a whole lot of time, and part of that time you got to hand out helmets and equipment and all. But it looked like, let's talk about the quarterback position or the spin back position in your offense. Who's going to be the guys in the backfield that can get the ball?
Well, Chase Clarihan's our number 1 right now. He was our backup last year. Played a lot of different roles for us, punts for us. Started at linebacker for us. Played some blocking back at some times, and is also spin back. So, he's going to be the lead dog there. In the backfield, we feel like we got a multitude of guys that we can put in. But Ike Molnix is returning at tailback, and then Aiden Glendo and Carson O'Rourke are returning it back. But we saw Ike got hurt last year. Blake Baker, Lane Conrad had to step in and run balls. So
those are some athletic guys.
We've got and then you add Lane and Fish at wing, and I feel like we got 3 tails and 3 wings that we can put out there and feel great about.
It seemed like a couple of years ago, your main running back went down, and the guy behind you really stepped up in a huge year. So it could be any of those guys. It doesn't surprise me that there's a Clarihan and Molnix involved in this. That Blake Baker is a great player, and so is the other kid.
Conrad.
Well, kid from Kyoto.
Glendo.
He's big. He really grew a lot.
Yeah.
He just stretched out. Tell me about those 2 guys. What kind of abilities do they have? The speed and maneuverability.
Well, I think we saw with Blake when he had to step in the run ball. Lane was getting some carries. Blake was getting some carries there in the first round playoff game, and Blake kind of took control and really showed what he can do. I mean, he's got the speed, he's got the vision, he's got the physical attributes you want. Glendo's just a freak of nature. Out of the gym, fast. You get him in space, he's gonna be a tough one to catch. So we've got some bodies there that can tote the rock and feel pretty good about them.
You don't throw the ball a lot, but you throw the ball very effectively. I remember Stout would throw the ball to Kendrick there. You might throw 6 of those 8 passes he throws might go for touchdowns. Remember a big play against Minneapolis. You didn't throw the ball much, but you threw the ball one time in the first half, and it was for a great big gain and set you up for some points. So what kind of, it's a pretty good weapon in your toolbox, and you use it pretty effectively. Do we have some talent there that you can get the ball to through the air?
Yeah, I think all the guys you just mentioned, we'll use them in the backfield, we'll use them to split out. I think that's something we've been working on a lot more right now, is implementing a little more pass into the game. But you know, the deep balls are so effective because we run the ball.
Yeah, well, because it's
gets
just
caught
loads of
up,
other people in there, so.
you know, it's going to be one of those things. We're still going to want to run the ball, but well, we might want to take not even necessarily just deep shots. We might, you know, some quick game stuff just to kind of throw an extra wrinkle in there.
Well, tell me a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about the defense. Let's start with the defensive line. And over the years, you've had some killers there. I mean, some guys that would survive. Playing your defensive line, guys who could get in the backfield, guys who could stop the run.
Right.
Do you have any experience coming back, or is that a whole new?
A lot of new guys up front there too. I mean, we got some that are back that maybe they weren't a starter, but they were a rotation guy. The D-line, something that we want to rotate quite a bit, keep some fresh bodies in there. So we've got some guys with experience back, but I would say as a whole, the group's pretty green. I mean, they're going to be not necessarily youngsters. They were JV guys last year, stepping into this varsity role this year, and I think we're doing a little bit of a different front this year, trying to change things up a little bit. But I think we're in a pretty good position with the guys we got. Again, line-wise, not a ton of depth. I think D-line more than O-line. We've got some depth there, but that's going to be a group that's going to have to anchor the front of that D.
Linebackers, you got anybody coming back there?
Yep. So Chase Clarahan's back, starter last year. Blake Baker. He was an outside backer. We moved him kind of all around. Ended up the year at strong safety for us. Carson O'Rourke's back, an outside linebacker. So we've got 4 guys that played the 3 linebacker positions back. We've got Blake's still sitting at strong safety for us right now, but we know we've got the ability.
You can back up the linebackers from there, and he's got the size and the tackling ability to do that.
We've got some other guys that are ready to pretty fit in that linebacker position. It seems like we've got linemen or BDs. We've got to kind of find some of those linebackers, but we've got a handful right now that we feel really good about.
That's outstanding. Tell me a little bit about the backfield.
Yep.
Any experience here? We're going to see any new faces or what?
Well, we've got 2 corners that typically started most of the season. Landon Conrad and Aiden Galindo. Galindo was a guy we kind of moved around as well, having a strong safety some, a corner some. Landon Fish, after Ike was playing corner last year as well some, got injured. So we kind of had to move some pieces around, and Landon Fish as a sophomore stepped in and really played, whether it was week 9 or the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, really gave us some talent out there on the edge. So, we probably got 3 guys right there we feel really comfortable at playing corner. Safety wise, Blake's obviously one. Carson Davis is a strong safety as well. Those 2, obviously Blake has played there. So
well, it doesn't seem like your short players. How many players you got overall?
No, we've got 39 out right now.
That's pretty solid for around here.
We're shorter than what we've been. I mean, about 15 guys were less than what we thought we were going to be. Some due to injury, with the inability to play, and some just choosing not to go back out. But that's a lot of our lower levels. So, wise, we've got our 19-20 with a few sophomores, 21-22. Our team freshmen. So, but going back to free safety is the only thing we didn't talk about. Keaton Clark is a junior, and Riker Van Eagle's sophomore. They're going to be kind of battling that free safety spot out.
So, of all the positions on the field, is there anything that a kid could do to get himself on the field, or is there a competition for any certain spots?
Yeah, I mean, we're still free game. I mean, all summer long, we haven't really told any kids, hey, this is our first team, this is who we want out there. We kind of leave that up to kids. Where do you see yourself fit? Who thinks they need to be out there with that group, and kind of let them shape that out that way. And then we just kind of try to evaluate every day of practice. What are we working on? Who's doing a little better job at this? Who's doing a little better job at that? Just kind of figure out here within the next week or so. Okay, hey, these are the 11 that are going to be out there.
Well, I did talk to Andy McGuire a little bit yesterday. It sounds like you have the same gauntlet that you've had for a few years with PCM and the Mid-Prairies and the Wiltons and the big time schools that can really play, schools that can really get you ready for the season and the playoffs.
Right.
But they're going to be tough. But before that, we've got a scrimmage with Fairfield. We had Davis County coming in on break. A little news here. Davis County, varsity season is full. I think the JV season is going to
Still
continue.
hosting the JV
They're
season.
having a little trouble with numbers. The program,
And then
and that can happen. You know, you get those special group of athletes that are coming through, and they get to be seniors, and then make that big push, and then there's a rebuild, a little letdown after.
But I think anybody that knows football and coaching, Coach Light will get that thing turned around.
Well, no, but that does put you know, they were an opponent that you were going to scrimmage with in Fairfield. Talk about that little scrimmage. Maybe there'll be someone else pick it up, or maybe they'll still try to do something in the scrimmage. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, as of right now, I think they're going to be involved in scrimmage. Maybe that changes between now and next Friday. But you know, our Gatorade scrimmage that we typically host. You know, we hosted it here last year with Davis County and Fairfield. This time we're traveling down to Fairfield. So it may just be us in Fairfield, unless there's another team out there that is looking for a scrimmage site, and you know, we can add that third team in. So,
but I think Fairfield and you guys would be a good way to get the season going. I think that'll help both schools out. Tell a little bit about where that is.
It's going to be at Fairfield at their stadium. So I believe it's 7 o'clock p.m. Friday. Next Friday.
Yeah, next Friday, week 0 is next Friday. That's how close the season this is. There is going to be a regular season game. Eddyville and an opponent you're going to play later on is going to play Pekin that same Friday night. Let's talk. Eddyville's going to be one of your opponents. What about that team? What about that? What about that team and their, you know, how much improved do you think they're going to be, and what kind of test them or other schools might be for you on the schedule?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Coach Whitehall and staff is doing a good job down at EDF. You know, we'll kind of see they added more kid last year. You know, hopefully that helps draw some of those other kids that might not be out that are wrestlers into football. You know, got a lot of respect. You know, I played college with coaches down there as well, Coach Jackson. So, you know, I know those guys, got a lot of respect for them, and it'll be an exciting game. I'm just glad Coach Weber was able to find a team week 0, because obviously they were starting out.
Yeah, they didn't have much time to find that, so that'll all work out. I know they lost another New London Kent Field team, and some other schools are combining to make teams. Is there any schools in your district that's having any trouble?
Not that I've heard, but I haven't really talked a whole lot of.
Well, we talked about the non-conference schedule. Let's talk a little bit about the conference. Who's all in your conference this time, and who do you play and when do you play them?
Yep. So obviously week 1, 2, and 3 is PCM, Wilton, and McPrairie. 2A is going to be tough tests again, but I think we're going to be able to see exactly where we're at, and then we lead into our district play. I think we start out with Eddyville, Bladesburg, Fremont, Regina, Louise Muscatine, and Durant.
They've had some pretty good teams, and they've had some pretty good running backs that have done some things. So this doesn't sound like a very easy schedule.
No, I mean, it's we kind of know what we're facing when we face those two. Obviously, we know who Regina is, so that's going to be the toughest game on that slate, probably in the district schedule. But game for granted on the other teams. Cardinals also in our district. That's what I left out. But you know, all those teams I think are in that process of building and wanting to create culture that their coaches want to instill, and can't take anything for granted. Got to play everybody like they're the best, and you know, go out and beat them.
When is the first home game?
In 2 Fridays. Date-wise, I'm going to say August 28th. If that's correct, whatever that Friday.
Oh, so the first week.
Yep.
Week 1, right here, PCM, and then we're not gonna be able to get the varsity coverage because you are blessed with great media here, and other schools don't, but we can do their JV games, and I think we're going to get some JV games on you. I don't have any more questions. Is there anything that you want to talk about that we didn't get a chance to talk about?
Nothing to think of.
Well, thank you for being with us.
All right. Thank you. Go Cobras.
We'll keep these weight room interviews going. Thanks.